Welcome back to Integrity Farms. Today I thought I'd give you a tour around the homestead and show you some of the changes that we've made, some of the things we've improved, and also let you know some things we're going to be updating going into next year based on lessons we've learned from this year. So with all that said, let's get around and start showing you what's going on here at the farm. So the first thing I thought I'd update you on are the chickens, as you can see, and I'll throw them a little bit of food out here so they'll all come out. But they are getting big. They get bigger by the day, it seems like. We're still about a month away from egg laying, but I just threw them some little grubs down so they're eating them up. I'll get down here close so you can see them. They go crazy when you throw these little worms down, but you can see they are getting big. There's one of our roosters. So we think we've ended up with 3 roosters and 5 hens in this first batch, and again, we plan on adding a lot more, but very happy with them. They're doing great. Their enclosure's working out great, and we've actually decided we're going to make this in here the coop. So we're going to be building more onto this, putting tin up on the roof here and enclosing all this stuff in, and that's probably going to be some of our winter project to give them more room and to be able to add more chickens to it. But we hope to end up with around 40 to 50 chickens. But there they are, and as you can see, they are doing good. Now, as an extra add-in, here's one of our new little animals running around here. This is just a little barn cat that ended up showing up that we've decided to keep, and we think it belongs to a couple of the kittens that we have now. And here's the mama to some of the cats. So we're trying to get all these animals fixed and get them taken care of and just let them stay here on the farm. But here is one of our new great additions that we've added on. So I'll show you a full overview of it here, but this is all a big new rabbit cage setup we put on the side of our building. So there's actually 3 different cages here, and as you can see, they've all got fans. We got to get a fan for this middle one here. We don't have rabbits in it yet, but we plan on doing that actually today at some point. But just to show you, this is the second litter of rabbits that were born, and just to show you what they look like. I mean, they've got plenty of room. These cages are almost 7 feet wide apiece, so definitely well over 6 foot, but they've got room. But we're actually going to be taking more out of this one and moving them into this center one here. We're kind of using it for storage now. We're waiting on a fan before we moved them. And then here is our third cage. So by the time we get done, we'll have 3 to 4 rabbits in each cage. So we're going to be ordering more of these hay feeders. We've really liked them, but you can see the rabbits hopefully are coming through right there, but they're back in there. These are really sweet. Actually, one of the sweetest rabbits that we have is in this bunch right here. So a little warm and they're hiding, but this was a really cool project. Built all this on my own. Well, me and Jessica and my dad helped out a little bit. I actually got to run some tin roofing, which was the first time I've ever done that. Really easy to do if you ever try to tackle that. Cutting it sucks, but pretty much putting it down is very, very easy to do. So it just kind of screws in if you got the right screws. But overall, a very cool project. Really enjoyed doing this one. It went very, very well. And this is our new rabbit enclosure. And we have decided, so out of this litter, we're actually going to let 2 of these rabbits go. And out of our first litter, we let 2 of those rabbits go. But we're going to end up with about 18 rabbits total for ourselves. In addition, with where the new rabbit cage is, and of course the chicken coop, chicken run is. And here's the light that I showed in a previous video that we installed. We are actually going to be adding, because you can see we've got a couple of lines running down from the house to here that is powering all this stuff currently. So I'm going to be working with my dad, and we're going to add full electricity in here. We're going to add several outlets and stuff. That way all this is going to be a whole lot easier to cool and heat as, you know, whatever the weather dictates what we need. But just trying to improve this whole process and make it a lot better, because this down here is kind of going to be our main area for this kind of stuff. And I'm also going to be adding gutters onto this here and probably putting some sort of water, rain catching barrel or rain catching tote right here, just so we can also start collecting that and use that for watering and save off of our water bill. And anybody will tell you that stuff grows better with rainwater than with regular tap water. There's just so much crap in tap water now, you never know what you're getting. But gardens just tend to do better with rainwater versus tap water. So that's some of the other stuff we plan on doing over here. But should hopefully have this electrical work done here in just a couple of weeks. You know, thank goodness for my dad, because I'm definitely not an electrician. So now I'll take you into our garden, and there's going to be a lot of changes here for next year for sure. But as you can see here, we're still getting some jalapenos, but the weeds got really bad. We weren't able to lay down plastic this year just because of timing, basically. But we are still getting some jalapenos. We're still getting plenty of peppers. As you can see here, our tomatoes are just about done. We're going to pull these up by the end of this weekend. I'm recording this on a Friday, so we'll have these out of here by this weekend. But they done really good. We end up canning right at 20 jars of tomatoes, so we've got enough to get us through the winter. But as you can see, the weeds just totally took over, so I'm actually going to clear out all this as soon as the tomatoes are done in these last few things. So we do have the little cantaloupe right here, and we've gotten so many of them things this year. It has been insane. And you can see we've got another little watermelon here, and we've actually got a watermelon there that is going to be ready to pick today. So I'm going to be taking it out, and that's going to be this weekend's dessert. But strawberries never did take off. We got a couple of more watermelons mixed in with this mess over here. And of course our sunflowers did good. We will be harvesting some sunflower seeds here soon. But overall it was a very successful garden this year. But we are going to make some huge changes next year, and I'll kind of step back out here and you'll have a better picture of what we're going to be changing. I'll step back out the gate. So, from a top view here, as you can see, this garden really just encompasses a small section of the bottom piece of the yard here. We're actually going to next year extend it all the way back to the fence. We're going to bring it all the way out to here, and we're going to take it completely down to the back of the yard here. So we're going to probably multiply this yard, and I don't know how good it's going to show up as far as land size on here, but we will be multiplying this yard probably roughly about 5 to 6 times the size of it is right now for this garden. So it's going to be a lot bigger. As soon as we get this done for this year, I'm going to clear all this out, and I'm going to put down woven fabric through all this so these weeds will not be a problem next year. And one of our huge additions going into next year is right in the center of the garden. One of the main problems we had this year was with pollination. So we're going to be adding our own personal honeybee hive. We're going to set it up in here, and that way hopefully pollination won't be a problem anymore. And as an added bonus, we'll get some honey out of it. I don't eat a lot of honey, but maybe something we can produce, kind of can it up, jar it up, and sell it to other people, or give it away, whatever the case is going to be with that. We haven't decided yet, but we're definitely going to get us some honeybees for next year and have the pollination of our garden taken care of. And we did turn out with 3 really good sunflowers. So I'll pull these back. As you can see, they're starting to fade away now, but they're about to the point where we can start harvesting the sunflower seeds. So that's another little thing we're going to try this year that's really cool. But that is kind of the garden update and the major expansion that's going to take place on it. And you know, it was a lesson learned to make sure you get the fabric down next year, and I would highly recommend that to anybody, because it did mess with our garden a little bit this year. But overall, we can't complain. We got a lot out of it. But one of the other upgrades we plan on making over the winter going into next spring is we're going to fix up this horse barn that was here before. It's actually a 2-style horse barn inside, and what we're going to do with this is actually use it for goats. So this is where we're going to keep our goats at. So we're already getting it cleaned out from the stuff that was here prior. We're going to get this thing good and ready to go. And basically we're going to make a pathway. If I can show you here, there's a door on this back. There's a door on both sides, but we're going to mainly use the door on this back side here. And we're going to have this as a pathway for the goats to come in and out of. All this is going to be enclosed. There is going to be another gate kind of right here on this hill, and it'll open and close. So that once we get the goats into or out of the barn, we'll have them over here. But this whole hill is going to be fenced off, and basically I'm going to let them maintain this part of the yard so my lazy butt don't have to mow it anymore. But that will be, all this should be in place by next spring. That is the goal. So looking forward to having goats, and that'll be the next big add to the homestead as far as animals. So now I'm up here at the top of my property, and as you can see, we do have septic up here. So we've got sewer, we've got water, and we've actually got a power box right here that just basically needs to have lines ran from it, and we'd have power up here. But behind this mess of stuff, I've actually been clearing it out. We got a lot of berries from this area this year, but I'll walk you back in here and show you what I've been clearing out. So as you can see, this is a pretty good sized area up here, but I am going to work on clearing out some more of this over the winter, and we're probably going to run some power over to here. And what we're going to put in is currently a big greenhouse. So we're going to start as a greenhouse for this area. My daughter, both my oldest and my youngest daughter are eventually maybe talking about building something here, but we'll just move the greenhouse if they decide to. But until then, we're going to put us a greenhouse up here so we can start growing stuff, year round, and have plants and vegetables and stuff ready for the start of the new growing season, and kind of be ahead of the game a little bit. But as you can see, there's already a foundation up here, so it is pretty much ready to go. We just got to get our greenhouse and get it set up. And of course, I want to clear some of this out a little bit as well. But very cool area up here. They were actually going to build another cabin, the previous owners, and stuff just didn't work out, so they decided not to. But love this area up here, and as you can see, you can get a real nice view up here of the mountains. So this back here is actually Cumberland Mountain. So another cool update is our grapevine. So as you can see, it is starting to take off. It's actually starting to climb up the pole into the trellis, and the one on the back side here actually ended up not doing good. I think some cold weather got it, so we're going to have to add another one back here eventually to let it start up, and maybe buy us one that's already started a little bit. That way it'll just take off on its own. But that's kind of the update on the grapevine, but very happy with this side and how it's doing. So now we'll go up on the porch and we'll see the rest of the rabbits and probably a couple of cats up here. So if you've seen our short, here's one of our new little barn kittens that was dropped off, and we've just kind of took ownership of it. Very sweet cat, and typically there's another one up here somewhere, but I don't see him right now, so he must be out running. Oh, here's the other one. So this is Clyde, and you can see a very pretty cat. That was his mama that was down the hill there earlier. But just an absolutely adorable cat. They're a lot of fun to have around here, so that's why we decided to keep them. But if you'll remember, here was our other rabbit enclosure, so I thought I'd give you an update on these rabbits as well. But as you can tell, the farm is definitely growing. I have to watch Clyde because he likes to jump in here. So there's Stanley eating them some hay. There's Butters. And then here is the other babies that we had. So right there's Mama. There's one of the babies. So these are all girls in here. We do have them separated out, but as you can see, they got it made. This is a nice little area, so it's down to 4. They've got their own fan going here. And we put in these big box fans just because they create more air. So here's the other side. And in here, this is our 2 boys. So you can see them there. It is hotter, so they're just kind of lounging around. But these are our 2 boys that are separated. And our goal is to eventually get them all fixed and be able to mix them together. But for now, we're trying to be safe because we don't want any more slip-ups. So thank y'all for watching. As you can see, we've got a lot going on here. We've got a lot that we've already added and a lot more coming. If you can, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. What are some things you think we should do here? What are some ideas you might have that would help us out to make the whole process here easier? Always up for some good advice because we're always learning. But be sure to hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. I appreciate y'all for watching. Hope everybody has a good day. Bye, y'all.